The Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada now brings you Filipinars, news and features about the Filipino-American nursing community and beyond. And now, here's your host, Doris Bauer.
Well, good evening to you, Filipinars listeners and followers. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Kumusta na po kayo? How are you all holding up? I know we're still in the thick of things here with this pandemic, and we hope that you are continuing to stay safe and healthy during these hard times. Thank you for joining us here at Filipinars. And this is, as you know, a program that is brought to you by the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada in collaboration with PHLV Radio. Thank you again for joining. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the role of nurse educators. A nurse educator is a specially trained nurse who specially educates and trains future nurses and nursing theories and skills. So here to enlighten us today on this topic are three Filipino nurse educators. So please welcome Ms. Flora Saison. Hi, Flora.
Hi.
Kay Fontanilla. Hi, Kay.
Hi.
And Joanna Braga. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
All right, okay. Well, thanks for joining us today. So I'm going to kick off the questions by saying, can you tell us about yourself and who you currently work for? Where you currently work for? Flora, you want to kick this off?
Yeah, thank you for having us. And I'd like to say that for myself and for all of us, we're working in the same school, and that's the College of Southern Nevada. And I'm a professor of nursing, and I have been teaching the first semester and second semester students. And I also go to the clinical setting.
Okay, and Flora is currently an MSN, but she's also studying to be a DNP, right, Flora?
Yes.
All right, okay, thank you. Kay, how about you?
Sure. Good evening, PHLV and Filipinars listeners. Happy Friday. I am Kay Fontanilla, and I currently work for the College of Southern Nevada, like Joanne and Flora, as a nursing professor, and I also hold the position of program director for the soon-to-be-launched RN to BSN program. Nice to be here. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, that's great. Thank you, Kay. And Miss Joanne?
Hi, everyone, and thanks for having us. I'm Joanne, the same with Kay and Flora, where I'm working as a regular faculty instructor, and I'm also being an adjunct faculty on Roseman University. So in Roseman, we're focusing more on mental health, and with CSN, it's more of med surg and fundamentals.
Great, great. Welcome, all three of you. And to the listeners out there, all these three ladies here have something very important in common, and they are all board members of the Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada. So, which we're very proud to actually have Filipino nurse educators on our board. So thank you for that. Anyway, okay, so what made you decide to become a nurse educator? Who wants to start with that?
Well, to be honest, I did not really dream of becoming one until the latter part of my clinical practice, where, I've been assigned to in so many occasions. And if I am to participate, in the different nursing schools preceptorship programs. I'm not sure if the listeners know about what preceptorship program is, but it is part of the nursing curriculum where the students are in their last semester and they are given the opportunity to experience the role of a professional nurse by following an actual nurse, following her schedule, doing the tasks that nurses do, making clinical decisions, and so on and so forth. I so enjoyed that experience that it got me so inspired and decided that this is what I wanted to do. I was actually weighing between going into the nurse practitioner track as opposed to the educator track. So that experience itself made the decision easier for me to make at that time.
You're an educator at heart. Okay. How about you, Ms. Joanne?
So I've been holding this quote for so many times because when I was a kid I always loved to teach, those blackboards and all those. But later part of my life, so a lot of my family members are nurses. So I see skulls and all those thick nursing books. So it inspires me. But I always, every time I had that situation of what direction I go, if I'm gonna be a nurse or other field, is the quote of to teach is to learn twice. It's like reviewing, revisiting. And to be honest, I really enjoy teaching because it's not because giving information, imparting life lesson to the students, but I'm also learning from them. I'm learning from the new set of meats, new
Yeah.
generation. So, and also at the same time, because you're exposing continuously, I learned a lot from nursing. It's been like, it's been I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when it comes to with the students. I just enjoy teaching.
Yeah, that's great. And Miss Flora, what about you? What made you decide to become an educator?
Yeah, I think I have a long history of it, but I grew up in a family of teachers, and my mom is a teacher, an elementary teacher, and my eldest sister actually was a professor of nursing back in the Philippines too when I was growing up.
Wow.
And I was in grade school at that time, and she was already teaching. And I have to go to her class after my grade school class because I will, of course, go home with her. So the nursing school then was also with the elementary school, and so we are in the same campus, so I have to go to her class after my class too, so I see her and I see how the students interact with her. And maybe back then I don't have that inclination yet, but I think maybe it was already like an inspiration to me. And when I graduated, I was working as a pharmaceutical liaison, but then a friend of
Oh,
mine, yeah, a friend of mine invited me to try and teach in a university back in Manila. And during the time, I said, okay, let me try. And then I landed teaching in a Bachelor of Nursing program. So from then on, I came here in the US and I got a scholarship, but then there was no opportunity yet of teaching, so I was working in a hospital bedside.
uh-huh.
And just like what Kay mentioned earlier, she was a preceptor. And during the time, I also experienced precepting students. And mind you, the first student that I got was from College of Southern Nevada. So
Wow.
it was really an inspiration to me. And I also got to meet the faculty during that time, and I see how it was being worked out. And I said, okay, let me try and go back to teaching because I already had that before back in the Philippines. So I said, maybe I can try it here too. So that's the pathway I took.
That's great. Yeah, we all had inspirations. My mom was a teacher too. I didn't go to you guys' level, but I do love, doing orientation and staff, improvement and things like that. So thanks, ladies. Okay, so what is the clinical progression or the education that is required to become a nurse educator?
I
You want?
can start, yes. So as I mentioned, I was already teaching back then, but I also have the master's in nursing in the Philippines. But when I got here, I also went to school here in New York, and that's also a prerequisite to become a faculty. So I had the master's in nursing, and then I also like right now, even the progression is still going, it's ongoing
Yeah.
right now because I am also doing my doctorate. So hopefully that's the terminal degree that usually educators take.
Good, good. Okay.
Oh, yeah, just like what Laura, not Laura,
Right.
Laura said, um, you have to have a minimum of an MSN to be eligible to teach in academia. However, because of the shortage of nurses or nurse educators, not just nurses, but we have a shortage in nurse educators as well. The Board of Nursing, and this is not nationwide, in Nevada, the Board of Nursing has a waiver for those who have a BSN but are already in an MSN program, that they are, that they can teach at least the clinical aspect of nursing education.
Okay. Do you have anything to add to that, Joanne?
Oh, both of them are influencing me to do that now.
You go. Go, girl.
So it's just a matter of when, because probably of the hesitate because of the pandemic right now. But that's still my goal to be a DNP.
Yeah, it's very difficult on account of hard times and it takes a lot of commitment, patience, and all of that. So, yeah, kudos to all of you. What is there a difference between a nurse educator and a clinical nurse educator? What are the differences in the roles? Joanne?
So,
Oh, okay. So actually, both of them are educators. They're
Uh-huh.
passionate, and they prioritize patient care. But this is just for me. For the CNE or clinical nurse educator, they're more of devoting to teach nurses for their skills, to enhance their skills and enhance their knowledge for the to benefit the patient, for to have a best possible patient care. Unlike with the nurse educator, they're more of with a strong organizational and leadership skills. So they're more of, but for me this is just almost the same because they're all educator. It's just a different venues, different
Different
area to focus.
You agree with that too? Okay.
Yeah. So similar, there are a lot of similarities. So they both build curriculums. In the hospital setting, there are curriculums too because nurses have to have continuing education. They do assess and evaluate the learners, their learners' performances. They come up with best practices so that the practitioners in the hospitals are current with the guidelines, and that's the same as when you are in education. You can't just be referring to the book to teach your students regarding nursing, the nursing profession. So yeah, right, that's right about what Joanne mentioned. For one, the difference is the setting. So nurse educators teach in the academia setting, and then clinical nurse educators will be in the clinical setup like hospitals and other healthcare facilities. A unique role of the clinical nurse educators is also they follow and make sure that the nurses' credentials and certifications are up to date. So that's the leadership part of it, as what Joanne was mentioning, that I remember of. But there are many, many more roles and differences in the role. And as nurse leaders, I want to let the others know it's not just teaching the students; it's facilitating their learning.
Mhm.
You make sure that there are resources available for them so that they will expand their knowledge and their learning.
Yeah, okay. You have anything to add to that, Flora?
I concur with both of them. They have already, detailed the differences between a nurse educator and a clinical nurse educator. The difference is actually like just think of the nurse educator in the academia, and then the clinical nurse educator's setting is in the facility in a hospital. So that's I
Okay.
think a big difference.
Okay, that's great. So, what do you think are the characteristics that would make a good nurse educator?
First and foremost, you really need to be very patient.
Patience, right?
Yes.
Okay, you have to be patient. What else?
Well, someone who is, what's the term, dedicated to their role or to their profession. Remember, we do not only do this, curriculum, making it great so that we can get students to get into the program, but and not only that we want to graduate students and make them pass the NCLEX, because that's the concern of the students, of course, but we want them to be safe practitioners who are knowledgeable, at the same time caring, compassionate, and empathetic. um, we should be passionate to our colleagues, to the health about we should also be passionate about the health of the population or the society, because that's the reason why we are educating these nurses, because they are serving the community. Respectful to colleagues, to students, um, could be an effective one as well. It's not just those aspects. You have to be effective. So you do a lot of searching and findings of strategies that will help the students engage and help them retain the information that you are, that you are doing. You're informing them of.
Good, good. What about you, Joanne?
So my uh, description of a good educator is letter SKA. So it should be skillful, it should be knowledgeable, outstanding theoretical and clinical knowledge,
Okay.
with the right attitude as a right educator.
Attitude.
You have to have that right attitude, because these may be students, but they are also human being. Then they can sense if you're a real and a sincere instructor or not. So with this pandemic, you have to be resilient. That's what
Mm-hmm.
Laura
Mm-hmm.
said. You have to be patient, patient, because there's a lot of loss of translation, loss, miscommunication, issues there, problems here, complaint here. So you just have to be resilient, and you have to be the strong person in the virtual world. You have to be the one that um, set the tone for the
Yep.
student. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, and then you have to be optimistic. Optimistic.
Uh-huh.
I know they had a lot of problems, and you have no idea. There's a lot of issues with the student, but at least in their life, in a virtual, that they have somebody that supports them, and give them a positive vibes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Like
Anything else?
that. I so like that.
Yeah. So,
Hey,
do you think is a spirituality attitude in there somewhere? There
Yeah.
is too.
Yeah.
Okay.
we have to
And
tell them that so that they'll be well-rounded individuals when
Mhm.
they're in.
Mhm. You have to embrace diversity, and
correct.
diversity, and then you have to embrace a different culture. So, and I always tell that to my student. So that's why I inject God every now and then. Pray, pray, pray. Even if you're not Catholic, just pray, because somebody will be listening, and someday you will have you encounter a patient that's Catholic and
Mhm.
invite them to pray. So what will you do? You reject them? You refuse them? No, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
have
That's
could
to.
true.
study on that because I know we have different beliefs, And a better way to relay that to our students is, whoever you are praying on or whoever you believe in that will help you surpass all these adversities, do it. It's gonna help
Yeah,
you balance in life and spirituality, I would say.
right. And I guess, that's important too for me, but you have to know when to back off when, sometimes people don't want their spirituality to be, it's personal and it's private. So you have to be mindful of that. Mindfulness, I guess, is another trait, right? Being mindful. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Those are really, really inspiring traits. So, what inspires you to continue to become an educator? Laura, you want to kick that off?
Yeah, what inspires me most is to see the students graduate. So
Ah,
whenever I see those students that I have worked with, and they are on that stage, I always tell them, I want you to be on that stage for the pinning, and that's my reward. That's the only thing I would ask you. When you are through with these 4 semesters, you will be on that stage and receiving your pin. It means that you have surpassed these challenges that you have gone through. And the one last gift that you can do is actually pass that NCLEX. So I always tell them that. So that's my reward. I'm not asking for anything more. I just want to see them succeed and prosper, and to call them later on my colleague. So I always tell them, you will be my colleague soon, and maybe you will be the one taking care of me on that bed, sick bed. So that's my inspiration. I said, I am like grooming a nurse that will take care of me and my family and my friends. So that's all I can tell them. Yeah.
yeah, that's good. What about you, Kay? What inspires you?
Actually, the same. The satisfaction of seeing them succeed, not just after graduation, but seeing them advance their degrees because they are passionate about nursing, about the health care of the US, or of the community they're serving. And it's really nice to see them even surpass what you have achieved, like
Yeah, yeah,
doing more in the community, doing higher level of care to individuals that I cannot do because I'm not at that level. But seeing that makes me proud and very, very satisfied. And right, they will be taking care of us soon. So we need to make sure that they are competent nurses and staff.
okay, yeah, for sure, for sure. And Joanna, what inspires you to continue
So
to be an educator?
the same with Kay and Flora. I've been an instructor back home, back in the Philippines for 8 years already,
Oh,
and together with I continue teaching here. So I see a lot of my students everywhere, in anywhere in the world, and seeing them following my footstep or overpassing me, it's also an achievement for me. It's a fulfillment. It's a rewarding. It's a
mm,
fulfillment. It's priceless. And that's what Flora mentioned about the pinning and the NCLEX passing. I told my student, you know what, it's like you're lifting me up, guys, to the clouds every time I see.
oh,
Yes.
yeah,
And pass, and it's actually, there are two that inspires me. It's my students and also my patient. It always
mm,
motivates me that I have to mold one student at a time, one nurse at a time, to give to the society. It inspires me that there's a lot of patient that needs good, safe, effective, efficient nurse, not just nurse.
yeah.
So so I was just so happy. So every now and then we had actually a group in Facebook, a group chat wherein it all composed my students all over the world. So every time I go to this place, I'll just call them, hey, can you guys meet? So my maiden name is Near. So can you meet with Mom Near? So they were,
Uh,
every time I see them, it's fulfilling.
I can
that's good.
I can attest to that because we sit together during pinning, and I noticed that we are all like all this,
Crying.
We need to bring tissue.
yeah, like I don't. It seems like I don't like to be there because of the emotions, very strong the emotions that come out when when we're there.
There's
Witness.
like an awkwardness of silent.
Oh,
Everybody's just so quiet and then observing everyone because we are, it's
it is inspiring. You're like letting your kids out in the world. After you've worked a lot, to mold them to what they have to be. So that's really great. But what are your challenges? And this is especially true. I'm going to combine these two questions. I know that education has changed with this COVID pandemic, a lot of it being virtual. And this has posted a lot of challenges between students and educators. So, can you share some of those things, your concerns, maybe your challenges? Who wants to start?
I know there are like many, many, many challenges. For one is the more work in preparing your classes. Due to these unprecedented times, we did not anticipate this, and now we're gonna have to like change to an online modality. Like, how am I gonna make my students be more engaged, or how are they gonna participate? It's not gonna be like in the classroom where you can talk and you can see their faces, their actions. Here, no, you want to listen and hear their comments. So it's really challenging to get to see that, as well as evaluating and assessing them. So how are we going to make sure that the students are not going to cheat during exam, because it's going to be taken via online. So there are softwares out there that the school has purchased so that we can minimize those issues or avoid those issues. An example that I want also to give you of a challenge is giving lecture online. So it's a 2 hour, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the lecture, there was an internet service outage.
Oh no.
Yeah, not the name of that company, but it was so annoying. And that not just because it's annoying, but really worrisome, because who knows, this might be an event that will be happening every week when I'm giving lecture. Even if it's not your fault, it bounces back to, oh, okay, it should have been made sure that nothing like that will happen. But yeah, that because you also get evaluated as an instructor, so you can,
Correct.
like, do your best to make sure nothing like that will happen. Another thing that to me is very challenging is how to make you as an instructor to be present. What they call instructor or teacher presence in an online modality. That's really very hard because it's all online. You text, you email them a lot, you make announcements, but how are you going to make it where they feel your presence even if it's in an online modality? So I attended certifications where you have to learn ways in becoming present in an online.
Engage them or something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Joanne? What are your challenges?
Oh, there's a lot of challenges. So number one is, the sudden change of educational trends. All of us are not really prepared for this virtual, and some of us are, they may be techie, but man, the connection sometimes, there's a lot of technicalities, and because of the sudden change, we don't have the proper training, and the teachers now are, the educators now are challenged to figure it out, how to
Wow.
use all those tool. So, we have to figure it out. Although there's trainings, but again, you lost that relationship between the teacher and the students. That's the one thing that I really like with the face-to-face. There's a relationship that
Right.
a direct response from the student. We don't have that. So, and
Mhm.
also there's a lot of paperwork now. You guys admit it. There's a lot more paperwork, a lot more to print because everything is electronic, and how you check it and how you submit it, you have to make a hard copy. So a lot of paperwork, and also balancing diverse learning needs. So not all students are well versed with virtual.
Mhm.
So I can see their frustrations, and I feel like, I did a lot to the students, but I feel like it's not enough because, it's still, although, we have a responsibility to share knowledge, and also the student has their own responsibility, but, as a teacher, you want more because, but again, there's limitation because of virtual. And
Yeah.
also, in addition to that, with the clinical, because of the pandemic now,
Uh-huh.
we used to dive any procedures. Now we have to consider, the hospital protocol, and there's a lot of a shortage of PPE, and there's miscommunication, there's history from the patient that was not carried out. So there's no, it's lack of communication. So it was a challenge. So, with my first clinical this week, so we were told to wear goggles and mask.
Uh-huh.
My first 1 hour, everybody complains of headache.
Oh, wow.
The mask
Yeah.
together with the goggles. So I have to give them Tylenol because you can see the students they're willing, but their body is already exhausted because of all this. Although the hospital that we work in, they're very nice, they're very accommodating. It's just that you also have to step back sometimes to just to protect your students too. If not,
So so they are now requiring goggles as well. What about the face shields? Are they still wearing that too?
so it's either goggles or face shield.
Okay, and I think one of the challenges is that the students have to, do they still have to provide for themselves? They
Yes.
have to buy their own, right?
Mhm.
Wow, that costs a lot of money.
Mhm. So
Yeah.
it's added expenses. Not only that, also the nurses, because I, as a fellow nurse, I also ask them and check what's going on. They're the one providing their own face shield and goggles too.
Okay,
So
well, we can donate. The PNA can, so just let us know. Flora, I know you have some challenges also, right? And so can you tell us about those challenges?
Yes, most of the challenges that Kay and Joanne mentioned, I agree with those because I have experienced also. And like, for example, during the virtual classroom, it's difficult to have everyone's engagement. The students are sometimes, not really ready because some will have technical difficulties and like what the case said, there are some time that there's an outage. But in my case also, I have experienced that some of the students will have to borrow their laptops or their
Oh,
equipment. So those are the challenges that I have encountered with the students. And when it came to the clinical setting, it was also like what Juwan said, that we have to wear the mask, we have to have the either the goggles and the face shield, And what I miss most is like bringing the students to the different specialty units.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have like uh, a special time for them, like a reward after finishing off their paperwork. They have this uh, like assignments. When they have completed their requirements, I always have the opportunity to bring them to different specialty units. Like for example, the operating room, the surgical department, and they can also observe in um, the where they uh, do the EGD. This is the help me guys. The and then they also have the cat lab, and they have
Oh,
yeah, they observe different procedures done, and especially in the OR, they get to experience to hold some of the organs. Like for example, one student experienced to watch an open heart surgery, and
yeah.
some have seen different surgery procedures, and that's what I'm missing right now because we are like we were approved to just have our clinical in one unit, so like the medical surgical unit. So those are the things that we have to let go of this semester. So I hope,
That's
you
really
know,
tough, huh?
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
It's really tough. Yeah, looking back at the days when we were all trained, you know. But I know there's another challenge that you have. You guys go and do precept, you know, the nursing students out in the hospitals, and they do have exposure to COVID. So what about bringing something home to your families? I know that that is always an issue. So I know maybe some of you are quarantined at home from your loved ones.
Exactly, yes. And I was even sharing with you that I have to follow my family's protocol because I have to like from the garage I have to like make sure that I will spray with Lysol and stuff like that. I have to disinfect myself before I even step inside the house. And then going to my room upstairs, I have to really like run to make sure that I will not be exposed to anyone, and then like strip off my uniform straight to the washer, and then inside the shower. So and after that, of course, I cannot like join them during mealtime. So they have to bring me my food, and it's outside my room. So I have to open the door when they're not around anymore. So those are the experiences that really uh, a
It's
big
tough.
challenge. Yes.
Yeah, it's tough. You, you anything else that you want to add to that, Kay and John?
We created sanitation station.
Wow.
Station in the garage. Just like, oh yeah, our washer dryer is not direct access from the garage. So I make sure that I wear something under my scrubs, like a shirt and shorts, so that I can just strip off while in the garage before I get in the house. I take that there. I have an old hamper and the station in the garage, and then I kind of like wash myself with alcohol and stuff before getting in because I don't know what I got. Like my hair, we don't wear those caps. Yeah, those surgical caps. So I don't know if something got stuck on my hair, and I don't want to give that to my family. So and then I go straight to the shower. Even if I'm tired, I know that it's not good to get straight to the shower when you're like all sore.
Right,
Is that right?
right.
True? Am I gonna develop like
You're scaring me, Kay.
No,
Well, you know what?
never do.
Pretty
scientifically? I don't know of any evidence, but that's what the people from the Philippines say, like my lola, my lolo.
Pretty soon we're gonna have to install showers in our garage.
Now I have to wear masks whenever I, go outside my room. When I go to the kitchen, I have to wear a mask.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Can I add to that, Ate? Because me and my and Brian, both of us are nurses, and we have to separate everything from the bathroom, even the bed. I don't have love life because we have to separate. We have to separate. So every time both of us, it's the same routine. So we have to remove everything from the garage and then don't talk to me. I have to go to shower first. And then once I go shower, I have to gargle I have to gargle so that no, at least no bacteria from there. And then that's the only time I talk to him. It's the same with him too. So alternately, if I'm the one in the hospital, came from the hospital, he will be, as soon as I'm done, I'm in shower, he's gonna spray the car and disinfect the car, and then our
Wow.
those, and then alternately we do that. So I don't even have love life because we have a separate bed.
Can't have a hug if you have your social distancing 6 feet away, right?
To follow the protocol. So yeah.
Yeah, it's really tired, and I applaud you guys. You're more of a frontliner than I am. I'm mainly managing in the office now, so I'm not, as strict as that, and my husband don't hardly go anywhere. So, but it is difficult too. I miss the camaraderie. I miss church. I think my biggest, I'm gonna be happy when I can see Lysol wipes in the shelves in the stores again. So, a lot, this pandemic has really given us a lot of challenges. But thank you for your experiences, for sharing them. So I know that outside of your regular job, I mentioned earlier that you are board members of the PNANB, and you all are in our educational committee as educators, right? So are you planning to do an educational opportunity CEUs for our members this year? Laura, you want to take that
Yeah.
on?
Yeah, we will have our CE offering this October 24th, and that will be virtual. So that's our very first virtual seminar, and that will be starting from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, but then we can start at 8:30. And the theme, mind you, the theme is the PNANV Adventures COVID-19 busters. So
Yeah,
that's how we call it. So
the
we will, yeah,
COVID-19 busters.
yes, the PNA
And
and
what
the
topics?
COVID-19 busters. Yes.
What are the topics we're going to offer?
Yeah, so we will have panelists also for those who experienced having the COVID-19. So we will have also a speaker, an infectious disease doctor, to talk on the COVID-19. And we hope to also offer a mindfulness session within that seminar. So we have a total of three continuing education units to offer.
Very good, very good. I know we're all looking forward to that. Again, that's going to be October 24, and you will hear more about this from us. PNA and the Avengers, COVID-19 Busters. So we're excited to do this. This is going to be our very first ever virtual offering, and we'll make it fun. We're going to make people dress up and show up on their monitors as their favorite superheroes, right?
Yes, yes. So if you want to be the Captain America or the Spider Woman, yes,
And the
we will be
pajamas,
the Ghostbusters
right?
too.
Well, the reason behind the superhero theme is because our nurses, our healthcare providers are considered the superheroes. So
Exactly.
that's
Yes.
a good, very good theme.
Yeah.
Perfect theme. So, okay, looking forward to that, ladies. Thank you very much. And so, let me ask what your message is as an educator to your students and your fellow educators. Who wants
Well,
to?
okay. I just want to let the students know how proud I am, with their continuous desire to learn despite the challenges that they are facing and they're trying to overcome. And I would like to tell the nurse educators, to keep doing what they're doing for the best interest of the students and the community.
Yeah. Okay, Joanne.
Oh, okay. So I would like to tell my student, this is temporary. That doesn't mean there's Rona. You stop learning, okay?
Mhm.
And embrace this pandemic because you're gonna learn a lot from it. This is a life lesson, and someday you will look that back and smile and you survive.
Okay, Miss Flora, you have the last word.
Yes, I just would like to commend the students who are experiencing this unprecedented time because they are more um, strong and they are resilient and also flexible. So I'm really proud of them, just like how Kay said it, because these students are really committed to their desire to succeed, and with us facilitating their learning, I'm just really, hopeful that we will get to the finish line and be the nurse that we want them to be, and advance also later on in their life. They will just realize that they really need to advance also in their education, and like as I have also encouraged them, they will be one of us too. Like, they are the nurses who will fill our pipeline. So I'd like
Mhm.
them to be the educator in the future, and not just the educators, but all the specialty areas that nurses are, doing right now, the different roles that we are doing right now, and they can be one among them. So just press on, and we
Yes,
will get over this.
yes. Thank you, thank you. Well, I'd like to thank you, ladies, Flora, Kay, and Joanna, for coming to the podcast to enlighten us about what the role of a nurse educator is. And we as Filipinos, you have to be very proud. I am very proud of you because you are educators, not only as nurses, but also here in the United States in a different culture. You have to do a lot of things. You have to do a lot of how should I say, acculturation in order to do what you do, so and be successful at it. So thank you so much again for coming, and also thank you for being board members of the PNANB and putting together educational seminars, not only for our nurses, our members, but also for the public. So thanks, ladies. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
You.
yeah, anytime.
Each other
Okay.
Filipinars.
Okay, and to our listeners, we leave you with this. Nurse educators serve a very important role within the hospital system and in any of the healthcare systems. Nurse educators are trained to deliver information to other nurses and to help them understand the challenges of being a nurse, and to help them convey critical and life saving knowledge that is essential to the patients and to healthcare. A nurse educator can help mitigate mistakes, risks to the patients and the nurse and the healthcare facility. A nurse educator possesses the skills and advanced nursing practice knowledge to help students. They act as role models and advisors to help the students and, towards their journey to become a successful nurse. So kudos to you three, and kudos to all of the nurse educators, especially our Filipino nurse educators here in Nevada and worldwide. Thank you for all you do. Stay safe out there. This is Doris Bauer, your Filipinars host, signing off for now.
Philippine Nurses Association of Nevada has just brought you Filipinars, news and features about the Filipino American nursing community and beyond. Fridays, 7 p.m. on PHLV Radio.